What's up, everybody? We got another Arcade Talk and Star Wars review coming at you. I got the Star Wars hat on, so that means it must be something to do with Star Wars, and you can see my Star Wars behind me as well. I got something in a box. That's for my Star Wars machine. Come with me. I will show you what I have. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, or night, wherever you're at in the world. Hope you're having a great one. And please smash that like button to help the video out. Today, guys, I got a box. I showed you a little bit ago. Here's a box. It's for that machine right there for my Star Wars. I already got the marquee. That is the new marquee on my Star Wars. That looks awesome. But today, I have something else. Let's just open this bad boy. I already have it opened. I have not looked inside yet, though. So here it is. Got my receipt, which I don't need. Oh wow, this thing's nice and bubble wrapped. Trying to get this thing out of the box. Okay, here we go. There it is, guys. What could it be besides bubble wrap? Oh, I got a little sticker in here today too. My last thing I got from them did not have a sticker. One piece off, like Christmas morning. Dang, that was bubble wrap. Got our screws in there. I know how to do those now. Okay. Bubble wrap. Okay, I see how this is held down. Okay, so we got a metal piece. It's pretty. It's a thick gauge metal. I'm shocked how thick gauge this is. You can see how thick that metal is. That's the support. It goes. I'll show you a little bit. Show you the awesome stuff we want to see. That's right, guys. It is a Star Wars control deck waterfall. Control deck. Look at that, guys. Look at that. We got a waterfall. Look at that thing. This is from Mod1Up again. Full pack. You can see it pretty good. There it is. If you guys haven't got one of these yet, you can see how thick the wood is on this. A lot thicker than what Waterfall uses. And then this metal plate goes, that's how that metal piece goes on. Goes on right there. It's reinforcement, even though I got it upside down. At least you know how this thing goes on, because the holes will not line up if you have it on wrong. So there it is, guys. That's metal reinforcement. It's on the back. It's for if you use a GRS flight yoke. It's a little heavier than Arcade 1-Up standard that comes with it. So they reinforced it, since that flight yoke from Glenn Retro Show is a little heavier duty than Arcade 1-Up's. So they went ahead and reinforced it, which I think is pretty cool. You're definitely not gonna damage this control deck with that metal on there. And the metal sits flush in there too. It's nice and flush with the control deck, so there's nothing raised up or anything. So here it is. We got it. Now let's go install it. Okay, I got the old control deck off. I gotta take these 6 screws out on the back here. I got 2 off already. Take 6 off, we'll see what's inside. Okay, let's take this thing off. Wow, there you go. Not like most of your machines, hardly anything in there. All we got is the BCB board. We got the volume on and off, and then we got the joystick. That's it, or the flight yoke. So this is going to be a really easy fix. So all I have to do is take all this stuff off this one and stick it on the new one, and I'm done. So, but if you haven't done any of these yet, be careful. There could be a lot of glue on these. I'm not sure. So let's take out the board first. And you shouldn't have to unwire anything either. We should just be able to keep everything wired and move it over. So you get 3 screws on this PCB board. There's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the board is off. As you can see, exposes the on and off in power or volume, and then we have just 3 screws. And I see it is screwed down or glued down to the wood. So the 3 screws in this board and 3 screws here, they're all the same size, so there's no way you can mix them up because they're the same screws, so it doesn't matter. The 3 screws are off. Just be careful so you don't break any of this plastic to get this glue off. Okay, got that piece off. Okay, yeah, this ain't glued down that bad at all. And then don't forget about these little black pieces. That's your actual switches. They just pop right out. So it was glued down, but not too bad. You can see a little bit of glue here and here. They were glued down a little bit, but nothing major. They're pretty easy to get up. Okay, so we got the on and off in volume and the PCB board off. All we have to do now is get the joystick off. So you got 2 screws here, and then there's 4 screws in each corner that have little nuts on them, so you have to go from the front, looks like, to get those off. But they are stationary, the nuts, so you should be able to just use the screwdriver on the other side of the board to get those off. And just got to flip it over and get the other 4 off, and then we'll be ready to transplant. Okay. So you have to move your joystick or flight yoke to get to the 4 screws. Plate in front here, and there's a plate in the back. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to these screws. So that's the easier way to do it here. At least these bottom screws. Yeah, a lot easier to get to. There we go. And these screws here are black. Okay, 1 down. 3 to go. Okay, got that one. Last one. Okay, so I recommend these silver ones, take those out last, because once you got the ones from the front off, this bracket down here tries to fall. So keep these, because like I said, these 2 screws hold the bottom bracket to the top bracket. So take these silver ones off last, makes it a lot easier. Okay, so there you see the bottom brackets off. And nice thing, slide this bracket off if I can. Nice thing, neither bracket was glued on. Get that through. Okay, there's the bottom bracket. It is off. Then you just slide through everything through the hole. Board through. Okay, so there's the old control deck. It is off, as you can see. There's the old one. You don't need this little piece of plastic anymore. You can throw this piece of plastic away. You don't need it. Okay, no more plastic for me. Okay, so there you go. So the top bracket really is on the bottom of the flight yoke. It does feel, it is an extra piece, so don't mess with it. Don't try to take it out because it is attached to the flight yoke. So that's all you gotta do, guys. That's it. This is all it's inside the flight yoke, board, on and off in volume. So now we can bring over the new control deck. And it tells you right here that this side is the top, so you want to put it up top like I have it. And if you do flip it, put it upside down, you'll see the holes doesn't match up, so that kind of dead giveaway. So as you see, it fits nice and snug. Okay, so now I just have to run everything through this hole. Take the plate out first. Just run this stuff. I'll be like Phil from PD7. Got my coffee. I don't have it in a fancy to-go cup like Phil has, but I got my Joe with me. This is to you, Phil, from PD7. Okay. Run this stuff through. Let's do the volume first. Get it through. Get the board through. Okay. Get the wires all in there. Make sure this thing is correct and don't pinch any wires. Okay, we got the things in here. Little pieces that go into the volume and power. Doesn't matter which one goes where, they're identical. So got on that, and don't forget your metal plate, and don't forget your bracket. I forgot both at different times. So once you do, you can put the metal bracket on anytime you want, but make sure you put the metal bracket on there. And if you have arcade 1-up plate yoke, you do not have to put this metal bracket on there if you don't want to. Okay, so we got that on, and then make sure these nuts, you can see them. Don't put it upside down. Make sure you have the V5 top, or it's going to be on the bottom right side of your metal plate. That's where it should be at. And then run the bracket through there. Make sure you get this one wire above it. Okay. And on this bracket, there's 6 holes, so you only need 6 screws. There's a 7th one in here, and I think that has to do with Glen Retro Show flight yoke. So that's not for Arcade 1-Up. So if this hole here up on top, don't worry about it. It's not for Arcade 1-Up flight yoke. It's for, I think, Glen Retro Show's flight yoke. So just put the bracket on there. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put these silver screws in first, because that holds the flight yoke to the back bracket. So I think I'll make it a little easier to do those first, so it'll be in place. Everything else should go smooth afterwards. And you don't have to tighten them down all the way either. Just get them on there just so everything doesn't move. So I'm not going to tighten them all the way down, but I'm going to tighten them so it's a little snug, just so the bracket won't move. Okay. And don't over tighten nothing, because this back bracket's this plastic, and I think the flight yoke itself, where it attaches to, is this plastic as well. Okay, so we got that stabilized with those 2 screws. We got their things on there. Now let's put the board and volume and power thing. And I was wrong earlier. These screws for the volume and power and the PCB board, they are different sizes. So there's the sizes. This one here is a little bit smaller. The smaller one attaches the PCB board to your volume and power button, and the longer ones go in to hold the volume and power first. And then this little bottom piece right here that goes on the bottom, that's one of the screw holes for the PCB board. And the volume and power, these little pieces, they're identical. These black switches, they're identical, so it don't matter which hole that goes into. If it's snug like that, make sure the holes line up. If they don't, then you got the bracket on wrong. Because this control deck, this new one does have holes in it already, pre-drilled. screw in. Okay, once again, you don't want to over tighten. This is a plastic bracket. Okay, they're snug in there. Put the board on. This hole here is on the bottom. You got your 1, 2, and 3. Last one. Once again, don't over tighten these screws. You don't want to crack your board. You feel a little tension, stop. Okay. Volume power's on, the BCB board is on. The flight yoke's somewhat on. That's all we got to do. We just got to put the 4 screws in on the other side, and we're pretty much done. Okay, let's flip this thing over. Put the last 4 screws in. Okay, first one in. The second one. I'm not going to tighten them all the way yet. Be careful with your bottom stiff. Don't want to mess anything up on the back. Last one. One thing I did forget, which is no big deal, is I forgot to take these little brackets off. It's the frame for the on and off and volume. But that's really easy. Just pop those off on the old one. They're glued down, so be careful. Don't want to break them. If you do break it or whatever, little tabs, there's little tabs in the back. Little tabs right here. They're glued down, so just easily do it. Maybe get a razor and cut through the glue a little bit. But if you take your time, they'll come off. And I'll just have to do that on mine later. I got all the screws back on. I just got to go back and tighten up everything. Make sure everything's snug in here. These silver screws are definitely snug. Then I'll just go around and do these last 4. Okay guys, there it is. There's the back side. You can see the metal bracket. Everything's nice and snug in there. And there's the other side. Everything's attached. Volume and all that works. Let's go over to the machine and install this bad boy. Okay, we're over here at the machine. Nice thing about this one here, there's only one ribbon to plug in on this one, which is nice. Volume. Power's already loading. They do come with 4 new screws, and use these. 1, they're black, and 2, I think they're a little longer. And then you take your screw, and then you have this little piece here. It just slides on down there like that. Okay, I had to kind of punch lines up fairly decent. As you saw, I had to punch a little bit to kind of pop the control deck up all the way. Okay, everything lines up. Okay, there we go, guys. Okay, to install this thing, it's kind of a feel thing, but I started with this one first. Get this one in a hole first, then this one, and then do the top 2. It seemed to be easier that way for me. Since it's such a tight fit, you really have to, don't push it down when you put your screws in first. Find the holes first. That's the easiest thing to do. And then once you find one of the holes, just kind of put all the screws in, start threading them in, but then stop there and then push this piece down here. And I even had to punch this side because up here there was a gap. Saw a gap like right here. Seems like there's a little bit of gap there now, but that's okay. But it was a decent sized gap, so I punched this here and it pushed it up. So, like I said, it's a really tight fit. Remember, I forgot to put these little frames on. These little things right here. You do not have to take the control deck off. All you have to do is just pop these right on. Here's these two little pieces on the back side. You gotta push those in to snap it in. So the first side's easy. You can just kind of push it down with the side of the thing, and then maybe use a flathead screwdriver here to push the second side. I think I got it. Snap. Boom. It's in there. So if you forget to put these on like I did, it's real easy to just push them in. Okay. See how it's fitting in there? You can see, I don't know if you can tell real good or not. Yeah, you can see right there. You can see some of the side panel in front of the control deck. So that's when you know it's nice and snug, is if you see a little bit of the side panel in front of the control deck. Kind of like that there, you can see. So like I said, it's a really tight fit, but there it is. Looks really nice. Wish it would have covered up that coin door mishap up there, but it doesn't. And it's a really nice fit under here too. There's no room underneath here. It fits snug to the front panel and fits snug everywhere. It looks great. I love it. No more plastic for me. Got this nice vinyl on here. It has a rough surface to it. It doesn't show fingerprints or anything. Just like my Dragon's Lair. Mod1Up is one I got for this one as well. So pretty simple. This one is so easy to install. No buttons he had to mess with. So it was pretty simple. Knowing that metal brackets behind there gives you a peace of mind, especially if you have the Glen Retro Show flight yoke. Don't have to worry. Just make sure this thing works. Yep, it works, guys. I've got everything back together. Even though I didn't have to unwire anything. You always want to make sure you don't pinch any wires or anything came off. As you see, it still works. So, my buttons work. So yeah, there it is, guys. The new Mod1Up control deck. Waterfall from Mod1Up. The beautifuls. And there it is. There's a sticker they gave me. It came with this. Mod1Up.biz. Beautiful. If you get one of these, you'll love it. It's so nice. You don't have to have that plastic cover on anymore. Beautiful piece, beautiful piece. It matches the same art, but it's nice to have the art come down like the real arcade comes down in front like that. Looks really, really nice. If you get one of these, you will not be disappointed. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, turn the bell on for me. If you have any comment, questions, concerns, leave them in the comments section of this video. Until my next video, I will see ya.